I'm Brett Katzer. It's a farm that I grew up on. It's located in central Iowa, Conrad, Iowa. Farming's been a way of life for my family about 5 generations back, so we're no stranger to hard work. Been growing corn and beans and some livestock, cattle I got right now. We've kept pretty busy. I had a stroke, which didn't hardly seem like a stroke. It was kind of mild. I was just dizzy and I thought maybe I had an ear infection. I left my phone in the shop because I was trying to do some chores. So I went to the house and then it just got progressively worse through the day. And the next thing I knew, I couldn't stand up, and I kind of waited until I could get up and start walking. I had a cane in the house that my dad had left, you know. So I used that and got out here and got the phone, called my aunt. She came up from Iowa City. She's a retired nurse. So we ended up going to the emergency room in Grundy Center, and they did one of those scans or electronic things, and it showed that there was a stroke. So next thing I knew, I was in an ambulance headed for Cedar Rapids because they were the only place that had room for a cardiac person right then. Eventually I ended up in Rochester at Mayo because they didn't want to do the operation at Cedar Rapids. It was a little too complicated. January 31st, they did the operation. And of course, the surgeon, he made it sound like you'd be in the hospital and out of there in X number of days, but he didn't tell you that it was going to take so long to recover from it. So I came home and I just wasn't able to get around and do things like I thought I would. So it put a lot of pressure on some of the neighbors trying to help out. And somebody had gone to a farm meeting and heard about farm rescue. And so from there we kind of worked towards that and had a meeting, and I showed them the operation I had, and they're more than happy to send some representatives to help get some chores done. And at the same time, they said they'd maybe plant some corn and stuff because they understood that it was going to take a while to recover from this thing, more than I did apparently. So that's how we got there. Found out that Whipples hybrids, I was involved with Whipples and they were involved with this. That made it that much more easier. You had to be more confident in the people that you were dealing with because they seemed to be a real strong up-and-coming company, independent, family-owned too, so it seemed to fit. It was winter time and I needed some help feeding livestock. Couldn't lift anything and even move myself around it, so they came out and moved some big round bales and kept those cows happy while I was recuperating. And then as we moved on into the summer here, I couldn't get my planter ready, and Ben had already kind of volunteered to plant corn, so I said, well, I guess that'd be all right. So we're a little bit late maybe putting corn in, but we're getting at it, and I think we're set up with some pretty dry weather yet, so it shouldn't take too long. Well, they've been very knowledgeable on different fields, and it's been interesting watching them work. Like yesterday, I thought, well, when are you guys going to come out? And he said, they're going to be out here at 7 o'clock. And I go, really? Well, that's good. That's about when I'm moving around and going. So, and they worked till 7 last night. So, I mean, their work ethic's as strong as mine. And I thought that was real impressive and gave me a good feeling. I appreciate that they're willing to build some character and put something back in. And always before, you know, again, somebody got in a lot of trouble and neighbors would pitch in. But these bigger farms, they got such a workload, they don't have the time in a lot of ways. We're all a little prideful and like to do our work ourselves and be part of it, but couldn't do much, and I just didn't have much else choice. You know, there's no way you can put a value on it. You just have to do your part. I hope that sometime I can do some volunteer work and put a little payback into it. I don't know, how can you say thank you for all their work they're doing, but yeah, very happy.